All right, we are in our opening segment. That must mean you have an opening comment.
Yeah, and a poor transition, unfortunately, because I want to talk about the Indians right
Fine.
now.
So do I.
I was at Tribe Fest over the weekend and
Did
talked
you get
with
some autographs?
no autographs, but I did talk with Mike Chernoff and Terry-Francona.
You mean Cherney?
Cherney.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has a nickname in baseball.
Here's Bud Shaw.
All right. Francisco Lindor says he is not driven by money, okay, that he loves Cleveland, check, and that the Indians just haven't made the right offer. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to say he's a money grubber who couldn't care less where he plays, so I'm not sure there's that much new in his comments at Tribe Fest over the weekend. Everyone who is honest with themselves knows signing Lindor is the first of two big challenges for the Indians. The second is spending enough on the rest of the roster to challenge for a World Series title. I don't see how it's possible to do both in many MLB markets, including this one. Without the star player coming out and saying he loves his city so much, he's willing to take a serious hometown discount. Well, Frankie, are you? Tell us. Just to be clear, I wouldn't sell myself short if I were him. To me, this is one of those stories with no villains. Same as the jim-thome story, though I know some of you disagree with that. But not having a villain doesn't play well in the sports media, so have at me.
We all remember when albert-belle came back, and the fake money was coming out almost like Beckham. But do you picture Francisco Lindor getting booed by Cleveland fans?
Not at all.
Do they understand this better, this particular situation better than they did in the past?
Well, I think that what they see is a guy who's going to command top-of-the-line money.
Okay.
You know? And I know albert-belle did at the time. I don't think there was a free agent contract signed for as much as he signed for.
No,
Believe it or not,
biggest.
that was somewhere around $54 million at the time.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about guys that are going to make between $30 and $40 million a year, you know? So, no, I think he's too likable of a player, which Albert certainly didn't have going for him.
But so was Thome.
And Thome was too. And I've always thought one of the great injustices was the way people treated Thome after he left. And it falls back on the fact that he said, you know, they're going to have to rip this jersey off my back. But that offer they made to him wasn't close to the market value, and this one, I'm afraid, isn't going to be either.
Well, yeah, but all the criticism seems leveled, even though it hasn't happened yet. It seems leveled at Paul Dolan.
It does.
And there's nothing to the other side. I mean, because, number one, Lindor is so likable, and he also hasn't made any outrageous statements about it.
Yeah, and we don't know that, you know, if it became known that they made an 8-year, $250 million offer, and he turned it down, then I think the onus would be more shared.
Shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, also, of course, Lindor's got this year. If they don't trade him, he's got this year and next year. And I'm not sure what it looks like at the end of 21, but how many teams out there, A, need that shortstop, and B, will have that kind of money? They don't have a guy there already, and who has the amount of money to pay? What are we talking about? 3 teams, maybe?
There's a lot more teams that need that shortstop because he's so
he's
terrific.
So good.
Yeah, he's so good. But it's a fair question. How many organizations are going to be able to pony up that money? And the ones that have less, I mean, look, the Angels have paid Mike Trout after paying Pujols.
Right.
And they haven't been a contender in this thing. You know,
in fact, Bryce Harper gets moved, and you know the team he got moved from wins.
You know, so and you know I know the position players tend to be more have more stamina or more longevity than starting pitchers in this case. But there's so many of these situations. Look at the money that the Tigers have spent on Cabrera.
Yeah, well, they got a triple crown out of him, but not much more.
Yeah, so I just think as much as people want to pound ownership, and hey, I had a conversation with Mike Chernoff where I said, you know, if you're going to have Lindor, then spend money while you have him.
Right, for that year or two.
And he argued that no, we have a budget. Regardless, we have a budget, and all it tells me is that if they're not in this thing at the trade deadline, they want that opportunity to trade Lindor. Right. And if they spend money, a lot of money right now, it wouldn't make sense to do that.